Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is ZillaFan85 back today with my latest video, my latest figure review. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at my Bandai Godzilla 65th Anniversary Shin Godzilla figure. So this is, of course, from the Bandai Godzilla 65th Anniversary Collection set. There were several figures that were released from, this was the first wave of them. I believe there was at least a couple waves. If I'm not too familiar with the line, but I do believe there was at least a couple waves. This is the only figure that I have from that set. I did not buy it in the box. I actually found this figure being sold loose at G-Fest last year. That was G-Fest 26. My one and only time that I've gone thus far, but you know, definitely was worth it. And I did show this figure in my haul video from G-Fest. So if any of you have watched along and do remember that, this figure was shown in there. So I bought it loose. I got it, I believe it was like $10. It was in, you know, one of the vendors there was selling like a tray full of loose figures, and this was in there. I didn't have any other Shin Godzilla figures, so I thought, maybe I'll go ahead and get this. Shin Godzilla as a movie itself, for me personally, was one of my lesser favorite Godzilla movies, you could say. And I know it's hit and miss for some fans. Some people really love it. Other people are not too crazy about it. I'm kind of on the latter. I'm not too crazy about the film itself, you know. But if you guys do like it, that's fine. More power to you. You know, it's just my personal sentiment. I wasn't overly crazy about it. You know, it was one of the few Godzilla movies that I did get to see in theaters, though, so I definitely will give it that. And this form, this is Shin Godzilla's fourth form. I do happen to like the design. You know, he's very grotesque looking, very menacing looking. I do happen to really like that a lot. So in the wave that this figure is released in, they also released, I believe, his second form as well. So, you know, so that one is also available from this wave. So size-wise, just kind of jumping into it here, this is a 3.5-inch figure, so it's not really on par with your standard, you know, 6 to 7 inch figures, but it's a little larger than like a mini or a Gashapon, so it's kind of almost like an in-between. So like I said, it's about 3.5 inches tall. You know, but like I said, you know, since I didn't have any other Shin Godzilla figures, thought this would be cool to add to the collection. It was only $10 anyways, at G-Fest at least. So, without further ado, to try to more jump into the figure review itself here, other than the size, as far as paint and detail goes, you know, for a smaller figure, I think they did a pretty nice job. As you can see here, really captured, you know, his signature sort of charcoalish look here, but also with a lot of the red mixed in, which was very signature of Shin Godzilla's designs. You can see on his chest and his abdomen, as well as on his neck, sides of his neck there, and of course on his dorsal spines as well. You can see that, and they did a really nice job highlighting it there to really capture that look. And of course going down, and then down into the tail as well, where it's got the charcoal look mixed in with the reddish paint, and that looks really good. Again, I think especially for a smaller figure, they actually did a really nice job capturing the look here. And then of course for the eyes, as you guys can see, it's sort of a like an off-white for the eyes, which is actually, let me see if the camera will focus a little bit better. Yeah. And that's pretty similar. That's pretty indicative of how Shin Godzilla's eyes looked in the movie. And then, of course, some of that sort of bonish color for the teeth there, just to kind of offset some of the other colors. And you got that for for his toe claws as well. The finger claws kind of still more in just the charcoalish paint scheme. So that kind of covers the paint scheme. So now the detail work, and again, you know, with a lot of the plating, this sort of ripple effect that he's got on his chest and abdomen area, where you can see the paints blend in nicely, and they did a nice job etching all that in as well. Of course, capturing all his scales and the way the scales looked for Shin Godzilla in particular, because it was definitely a different design for this incarnation of Godzilla here, clearly. But they did a really nice job sculpting all his scales and everything, and it's and it's really got some nice texturing as well. So if you like rub your finger on it, you can feel the nice texturing running all along him here and down into his tail. The scaling there looks really good. Again, the patterning that was etched in on the tip of his tail there. Of course, at the end of the film where he starts to take on what they call that fifth form, where you see the sort of humanoid-looking creatures with the Godzilla dorsal spines that were emerging from the tip of his tail. So he was sort of evolving into something else. Oh, that was pretty weird, to say the least. But it would have been interesting to see where that was going to go if they had ever made a sequel. And then otherwise, though, as far as detail goes, though, nice job capturing the look of his spines here. Really nice texturing done, even going down into the smaller spines on the tail. Really, really looks good. And you can see, too, the way that they made the arms, these sort of shorter arms, even shorter than you normally see Godzilla with, but this is the way Shin Godzilla looked, and they did a really nice job sculpting that, I think. So, and you see the way his arm, the palms of his hands are facing up. I'm pretty certain that is a nod to the 54 Godzilla, because a lot of times when he was walking around, his palms were up like that. So I certainly do appreciate some of the homages to things like that. Along with, they used a lot of the older Akira Ifukube scores in the film, and sound effects from the older Godzilla films as well, so I really do appreciate that. So I will give it that. I will say, even though the movie as a whole is not my favorite, the scenes with Godzilla I absolutely loved. Honestly, I really did. They did an awesome job, especially showing all the city destruction and everything. Anyway, though, as far as the figure goes, that does cover the paint in detail, and like I said, they did a really nice job capturing his look here, I think. And as far as articulation, this figure only has a couple points. He's got his legs do move, so, but it's just a standard rotation. They can go all the way around, as you see here. You're not going to get any sort of in and outs. It's not really like any kind of ball joint or anything like that. But they do rotate. So, and again, they can go all the way around. So if you so desire. But nothing in the hands or the head or the tail. So that's it. Just a couple points of articulation. And like I said, this is about a 3.5-inch figure. So with all that, and otherwise, as far as price-wise goes, I do see this guy listed on eBay and what have you. On eBay, if you're getting him in the box, I usually see him going for somewhere in the $15 to $20 range. And that's pretty standard for the other figures in this 65th anniversary collection set as well. So that's pretty much what you're looking to pay. So I got him out of box for $10. Got him at G-Fest, though, so all things considered, I think I got a pretty decent deal on it. And like I said, since these are fairly common, 15 to 20 bucks is certainly not a lot. And if you guys are definitely, if any of you are interested, I do definitely recommend it. I think it's a nice way, especially if you don't have a Shin Godzilla figure, this is a nice way to add one to your collection like I did. I do think that about covers it for this video, folks. I would certainly like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.